Hi Sagittarius, happy birthday and welcome to your December 2019 Astrology 33 reading. Thank you to those who have liked, viewed, shared, subscribed, and donated to the channel. I appreciate all of that. Just to let you guys know, as far as personal readings go, I actually won't be doing those until probably the second week of December. So I'll probably make an announcement on the channel when I do decide to pick them back up. So keep an eye out for that if you're interested. And as for what we have in front of us, it's a Celtic cross spread as always. Some extra cards came out there. Then we also have a couple of oracle cards to take a look at after we get through the main spread, and a mudra card. So getting started with the main spread first. In the main situation position, we have the Ace of Swords. So, as I always say with the Ace energies, to me these are things that are more in the idea stage as opposed to something that's actually physically taking place. And the reason I say that is we always see the hand coming out of the cloud with this. So to me, it's like it's more something that's on your mind right now as opposed to you actually communicating something. So this could be a realization that you might have come to recently, and you're considering whether you want to communicate that to someone. I feel like it could be something relatively large for you guys. Maybe you just want to change course in some way, shape, or form. This could even be pointing to the fact that we're going to be having that full moon in Gemini, which is your opposite sign. So, Gemini being known for communication, this could definitely be pointing to that. So maybe there's even going to be some kind of realization that might come across for you guys during that full moon. That's a possibility. And if that's the case, it can be related to relationships or just any kind of partnership for that matter. In the challenger obstacle position, we have the star card. So to me, this is what makes me really feel like this might be a big course correction for you guys, basically. And the reason I say that is, to me, the star is the card that comes after the tower. So, you guys might have gone through a tower moment recently where you realize that maybe the path you are on isn't the path that you want to be on anymore. So this could be saying that, this is the challenge, is for you to, communicate to people that you do want to move in a different direction and maybe you've been following up to this point. So it could be a change in career. Some of you might be wanting to change, leave one relationship and either be single or maybe move into another relationship. You could even want to move. But I do feel like this is going to be something fairly large scale. Excuse my communication. Mercury's still retrograde at the time I'm recording this, but yeah. I feel like this is going to be something pretty big, not just a minor thing that you want to tell someone, hey, I want to go buy this new pair of sneakers. It's nothing like that. It seems to be something a lot more large scale. And it makes sense too. I mean, you've had Jupiter moving through your sign. It's finally moving on into Capricorn early in December. But, to have that transit moving through your sign and it being your natural ruler, could have just led to some kind of a reset for you guys in some way, shape, or form. And this could also just be saying that, especially given that this isn't a challenge position, like you might feel really vulnerable, as far as communicating what this change is. So that could be what's going on there too. Like you might feel like it's really going to surprise people in your circle when you tell them this truth that you've come to the realization on recently. In the foundation position, we have the Wheel of Fortune and the Page of Cups. So, Wheel of Fortune, of course, is a card that points to Jupiter, which is your ruler. We were just talking about the fact that it's been in your sign. It's now moving into your second house of finances, self-worth. And with the Page of Cups, this can just be saying that, maybe what you have come to a realization about is maybe you want to make an offer to someone, most likely a love offer. It can just be starting a new creative project of some kind as well. And so it can be tied to that. But this could just be saying that the time is almost right for you to actually extend that offer. What I will say with the Page of Cups is, it might not come across perfectly just yet, because what I always say is, there is sincerity with the page energies, but usually preparedness is not at the top of their list. If you think about it this way, They haven't reached the knight level. We do see the knight there, right? Let alone queen, king, right? So they're still learning how to navigate the element. So basically, navigating through the element of cups could just be saying that you do want to make a love offer. Maybe it's something you're not accustomed to. And, so maybe that's why we see the page energy there. But you could just feel like the time is right to finally make that offer to someone. And that could even be it. Maybe you're someone who, generally speaking, maybe you've always had people make the offer to you, right? But maybe there's someone now that's in your environment that they haven't made an offer to you yet, but you feel compelled to actually make an offer to them. And that's one way the energy could be playing out. In the past position, we have the Death card. So this can just be saying that some of you might have been dealing with a Scorpio in the past. This could also just be saying that during the time of Scorpio, you might have experienced some kind of an ending. And this could even be pointing to what the realization was about for some of you, because maybe all of the energy going through your 12th house, because Scorpio is your 12th house, maybe it helped you realize some ways where, maybe you'd been limiting yourself, for example, and you're like, all right, well, now I'm free of that. I'm ready to move on from that, right? So now it's just a matter of communicating it to people in your environment. So that could be what's going on there. In the present position, we have the Chariot. So this is actually the major arcana card for Cancer. It's often referred to as the victory card a lot. We do have the North Node moving through the sign of Cancer as well, so there could be some significance there. And for you guys, Cancer is your 8th house. So again, this could be something, maybe with the North Node moving through that sign, maybe this has been something that you've been going through for a long time. Like I said, maybe something that might have happened to you maybe even as far as 12 years ago when Sagittarius was last in your sign. Maybe now finally you're at that point where you're finally ready to put that behind you, right? So that could be what's going on there. So this could be saying that you have victory over that situation, whatever it may have been. And what sticks out to me a little bit too is it could just be saying that maybe your thinking has changed in some way, shape, or form too. Because I'm getting there, thinking that not everything has to be so black and white, right? As far as here, we see a blend of the black and white on both of the characters there. So it could just be saying that, all right, maybe you saw things very cut and dry in the past, but maybe now your perspective has shifted in some way. So that could be what this is pointing to. For some of you on a more mundane level, this could just be saying that you're going to be doing some traveling this month. Usually it's long distance travel. And for some of you, since I was picking up on the energy of maybe some of you, part of what this thing is about is saying where you're living at now, you're not happy with, you want to live somewhere else. So for some of you, this can just even be saying that you're moving. And I'm guessing probably be a pretty big move, not to the next city over, probably possibly across the country or possibly a whole new country altogether, depending on where you live. In the near future position, we have the Knight of Pentacles. And what was interesting was when I was going to start recording the video, I almost had September on my lips. So this makes me think of the fact that this is Virgo energy. So there may have been something from around the time of Virgo. And given that Virgo is your house of career, it could have been related to career in some way, shape, or form. So maybe there was something that was held up back from that time. And maybe now you're finally getting the forward progress on that. Because the reason I say that is the Knight of Pentacles is the slowest moving of the night energies. And seeing this in a near future position, and the fact that I almost, I had to stop myself from saying September instead of December, makes me feel like maybe for some of you there was something that might have been held up back around the time of Virgo, and now it's actually finally moving forward for you guys. So that's one thing that I'm seeing there. For others of you, this can just be saying, especially going from the Death to the Chariot and the Knight of Pentacles, this could just be saying that this is something, an idea you've had brewing in your mind for a long time, right? And like we said with the Ace of Swords, you're finally ready to communicate it. You've decided this is a move that you do want to make. And now this could just be saying that this is you putting the practical energy into it with that Knight of Pentacles energy right there. And so given that, like we said, Virgo is the 10th house for you guys, this can be related to your career in some way. Maybe you're changing career paths, and it might seem sudden and drastic to people around you, but you've decided that it's really what's going to make you happy. So it's just a generic example, right? Let's say you're, I don't know, in some real big wig corporate position right now, right? And you decide that you want to completely stop doing that and teach yoga somewhere or something, you know? So you tell your family that during the holidays, right? They might be like, well, where did this come from? You know, it might seem like it came out of the blue to them, but you're like, you decided that, you know, all right, you've reached a certain level of success at that career path, but it's not really fulfilling you anymore. And you're ready to do something different, you know? So it's just a real super generic example, but hopefully it gave some context to what I'm thinking of. All right, and in the position of your influence in a situation, we have the Five of Cups in reverse. So while we talk about it, I'll have it in the upright, but seeing this card come up in reverse, this is more Scorpio energy. So again, like I said, there could be some tie with a Scorpio. This can be related to the fact that, like we said, you have the North Node moving through your 8th house. But more than anything, I'm feeling that this is really just pointing to the fact that Scorpios are your 12th house. We've had a lot of energy in there, including Mars basically now is going to be in there through December. So this can just be really helping you process some things from your past and finally put them behind you. Um, you know, like it could have just even been somewhere where you might have realized you were limiting yourselves in some way. Maybe if it was even just a thought process of where you limited what you thought was possible, and now you're putting that behind you. But yeah, seeing this come up in the reverse position definitely is a positive as far as it's saying that, you know, you're coming out of that energy now of just looking at, you know, maybe failures of the past in some way, and you're actually ready to move forward now. And then at the bottom of the deck as well, we have the Eight of Cups energy, which is another card that points to that same type of vibe where you're moving on to something in search of something more than what you currently have, something that's more fulfilling. So definitely seems to be some significance there. In the environment, we got a few cards that came up. We have the Knight of Cups, the Four of Swords, and the Ten of Pentacles. So this is interesting here too. Knight of Cups is actually a Pisces energy, which is your 4th house. This is a Libra energy, which is your 11th house. And this is a Virgo energy, which is your 10th house. So again, this could be tied into what we were saying before, where maybe this is representing you moving to something that you're going to find more fulfilling emotionally, as far as, you know, it can bring you to financial success, but you're now leaving behind, you know, maybe moving away from that more corporate type 9 to 5 environment into something that's more of a spiritual pathway. So like we said, it could be yoga, tarot, astrology, you name it, you know, anything like that. And maybe that's what the two knights is saying there. It's like you're moving on from that pentacles, you know, traditional 9 to 5 career path to something that's more, you know, of a spiritual angle. And this could just be saying that it's an idea, again, with that Four of Swords energy that you really mulled over for a long time. And really, you know, maybe you did your due diligence to see, okay, well, can this be a practical move for me where I could still, you know, pursue this, but still have it be financially sustainable in some way. Maybe you've really, you know, given it a lot of thought. Now you're ready to move forward on it. Um, Another way this could be playing out too is, again, like I said, if there was some kind of holdup around whatever this shift is that you do want to make, that might have taken place back in the time of Virgo. This could even be pointing more specifically to saying that, you know, it might have been around the time when we had that full moon in Pisces, which was during Virgo season, where things were just on hold. And, you know, maybe it was even a matter of you deciding to save up some money before you could make the move, right? If it was some, for example, if you are moving to a different country or even to a different state, you know, just a larger move than your cross town type situation, you might have been just saving up the money to do so, right? So that could be what's going on there too. And now you're like, all right, finally ready to move on it. So that could be what's going on there. And of course, another way this could be playing out too, we did see that Page of Cups energy in the foundation. So this can just be saying that this is you extending an offer of stability to someone, you know, maybe even up to the point of if there's someone you are in a relationship with. You could even be proposing, for example. Because that Ten of Pentacles makes me think of the stability there as far as, really taking things to that next level. And this could be someone trying to extend an offer to you as well. Something, at least a possibility. And it looks like it might have been something that they thought over for a long time as well. So, no, that was a lot there, but we did have 3 cards. I wanted to cover a few different scenarios as far as how they could play out together. In the hopes or fears position, we have the Queen of Pentacles. I'm going to assume this is a hope, and this can just be saying that, you're hoping for financial stability, like we said, especially if you are moving from the familiar, right, where maybe you're in this career path now that has been successful for you, but you just don't feel fulfilled anymore. You feel compelled to move somewhere else. This could just be saying that you hope that you're able to sustain that financial success as you do move into the new career path. The good news there is the fact that with Jupiter moving on from your sign, it'll be in your 2nd house, which is for finances. So you could get a bit of a boost there. And early on, when it moves on into Capricorn, early in December, it's actually going to trine Uranus in your 6th house. So that's another work house, daily routine. So, you could actually get a bit of a boost there as well. So you might see some luck around that. All right, and in the outcome position, we have the Temperance card and the 2 of Wands. So this is actually the major arcana card for your sign. So always good to see your own card showing up, especially in the upright and in the outcome. Definitely a good thing. And the 2 of Wands is actually an Aries energy. So a few things that come to my mind with this. For one, this can just be saying that you found that balance, right? Like I said, if you're like, okay, well, I want to move away from this traditional job that I'm doing now and go on to something that's a bit more spiritual, but how can I make it work in the real world as far as the finances, right? This could just be saying that you figured out a way to do so with the Temperance representing that balance. And now with that all figured out, you're ready to make that move. Another way we could look at this, speaking of move, like I said, for some of you, I'm feeling that energy of moving somewhere. And if that's the case, this could be pointing to that as well. And it would be another indicator for me, like I said, that it would be a bit of a bigger move, not just, I'm moving a half hour away from where I live now, something more large scale than that. Another thing this could be pointing to as well is the new moon that you guys are going to have in your sign. Keep in mind, for those of you who don't watch this until December, I recorded this back in November, so it hasn't happened yet, but there's going to be that new moon in your sign, and it's actually going to be trine Chiron, which is in your 5th house, and it'll be in those degrees of Aries. It'll be in the first 10 degrees of Aries, so there could be some significance around that too. So, maybe that gives you some healing as far as 5th house matters, where, like I said, for some of you, just be making an offer to someone on the relationship level. Others of you, this could be some kind of creative spark that you get for, okay, how can I shift out of my current role into a new role, right? And still make it financially stable, a viable option. So that could be what's going on there, but definitely pretty positive energy to see in the outcome. All right, moving on to your oracle cards now. The first one we have is Building Blocks, and this is from the Wisdom of the Oracle deck. There's the artwork for it. The number is 28, so let's see what that has to say. Okay, it says, strong foundations, a beautiful work in progress. The Oracle's message, you have everything you need to cultivate an extraordinary life. This is a time when your focus needs to be on the foundations you build upon. Your work, your relationships, and your very being are underwritten by your values, ethics, morals, and core beliefs. Are they still true for you? Will they stand the test of time and serve as the solid grounding upon which you construct your life? Now you are making changes that will affect everything in a positive way. Your destiny is truly a remarkable and beautiful design. So, when it's mentioned the core values and ethics and everything, that made me think of the star in the challenge position, which, like I said, maybe you've had some kind of a shift in viewpoint in some way, shape, or form. And maybe, that's why there's a feeling of vulnerability around communicating that to people because, again, like I said, they might have just been so accustomed to you viewing things in a certain way. And now, if that shifted for you, it might surprise people. And it would make sense as far as we are going to be in the holidays, pretty much no matter where you are in the world. Different holidays, obviously, but everyone has some kind of holiday going on in December. So it could be as simple as you're going home to see your family and you're like, all right, how am I going to let them know that, you know, I've had this big shift in some kind of belief in some way, shape, or form, right? So that could be what's going on there. The relationship message says, when you see this card, know that you are attracting new relationships into your life and solidifying the ones you already have by building them on the foundations of honesty, humility, clear communication, and a genuine desire to know one another. You are moving toward laying the groundwork for a relationship with the firm footing that will ensure it can withstand any storm. Long-standing relationships are also repaired and strengthened. You and the other person are stronger, wiser, and more powerful together than apart. So, it made me think of what we were seeing there, like I said, with the Knight of Pentacles and also the Knight of Cups energy there. So that could be, representing both sides of a relationship, right? The stability went from the Knight of Pentacles along with the emotion of the Knight of Cups. Like I was saying, the need to move towards something more with the Eight of Cups as well. So could be all of what's in play there. All right, the prosperity message says you have everything you need to turn iron into gold in the alchemical process of creating the prosperous life you desire. Now is the time to build on the strong foundation you have already laid for your prosperity. Keep in mind that these building blocks are imbued with the sparkling energy of your intentions. Own your dream and remember that you always have more than enough and you always are enough, so abundance is ever present. Your creativity is divinely inspired, and the design for your life is taking shape in service to the world. You are meant for success. So you have everything you need to turn iron into gold. Makes me think of, you have that Ace of Swords, which represents an idea, right? So some kind of an idea that you've had. And then we see it playing out in a more tangible way with the Knight of Pentacles, right? Where we actually see the iron there and then we see the gold. And then the Temperance card in some decks is actually referred to as the Alchemy card too, so could be some significance there. All right, so let's see what we have next. We have Hummingbird Spirit, and it says, "Be here now." This is actually from the Spirit Animal Oracle deck. There's the artwork. The number there is 34. Okay, it says the hummingbird's wings beat so swiftly it can hover in seeming stillness as it drinks deeply from a flower. Hummingbird spirit comes to remind you that the beauty and sweetness of life is in the eternal now, the timeless present. Here and now, you are becoming the person you wish to be, to have the experiences you wish to have. Focus your energy on the flower before you, for what you desire is being provided. Yes, there are blossoms everywhere. The choices can be dazzling. Hummingbird Spirit's message is that you have no need to go about in search of something better, for all that you require and desire is before you. You will notice as you become still, feeling your connection to Spirit who loves you unconditionally and will always provide for you. So, hopefully that message resonates with you guys as well. And then the last thing we have is a mudra card for you guys. So the mudra you guys got for this month is Mudgara mudra. This is it there. The keyword for it is loyalty. And turn the card over so we can see the information on it. So it says increases courage, virtue, and loyalty, stimulates the immune system, activates the body's self-healing power, and according to the yoga tradition, facilitates the healing of major diseases such as cancer. So if you think that this sounds like something that'd be helpful for you guys, I will be putting the name of the mudra in the description of the video as well. And we'll wrap up there, guys. Once again, happy birthday, happy holidays as well, and I'll see you guys next year. All right, bye.